Hey guys, this is SolidWorks Crew. Today is the day 4 of SolidWorks tutorial for absolute beginner. So one of the key components that we have to know in order to get CSWA is assembly. From day 1 to day 4, from day 1 to day 3, we already went through some basic sketching and interface and some other time savers such as the pattern, meter. So by utilizing those, we are able to create a part, and then by using those multiple parts we can assemble all together in different interface. So let's dive into it. Alright, so for today, we're gonna have a look at one of the practice exam from the SolidWorks official website, which is just assembly modeling. So what we want to do first is just having a look at the model, and also as you can see, actually we need three different kind of parts that needs to be created with the part. So we're gonna actually just quickly go through just modeling for those, the green, yellow, blue parts, and then we're gonna go into the assembly, and I'm gonna walk you through how to assemble all together in the assembly interface. Okay, so all those dimensions are based on inch for our purpose, and also the dimensions are just like try to just approximate as close as possible. So yeah, just like what we can do basically is we can definitely assign some kind of dimension for each case. Okay, so what we can do is so we're gonna apply the green beam, or just like cylindrical height, we're gonna assign basically 4 inch. Okay, yeah, sorry for my ugly writing. And then the dimension for the the circle that's gonna be the 0.25 inches. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we also need to assign this dimension. The blue beam should be 0.25. Okay, and okay, so let's cut this. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna model ourselves, and I'm gonna actually just walk you through how to just create this model as close as possible, like this image. So like by actually going through the step that I'm going through, so you can just like kind of basically copy the size that I'm actually just creating for each part, and then from the assembly point, actually we can just like do the steps all together. Okay, so yeah, let's dive into it. All right, so I'm gonna create the green beam part first basically. So what I'm gonna do is just as usual, just like new, and then I'm gonna go to the part, and I just try to all the time determine which kind of unit, but for most of the CSWA exam, actually they require you to just input as millimeter, but for our practice, actually I'm just gonna apply the IPS, and what I'm gonna do is there's a several way you can just create a kind of cylindrical kind of green beam, but for our case, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a top plane, and then we're gonna apply the circle, create just one circle over here, go to smart dimension, and I'm gonna apply 2 inch. Okay, and then I'm gonna go to the feature, extrude both, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the top plane at the bottom, so I'm not gonna do the mid plane, something like this, but I'm gonna apply in a blind and then just extruding to top from the bottom. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply 6 inch. I think this seems a little bit short, so I'm gonna apply 8 inch. I think it makes more sense. Okay, and then I'm just gonna save it. So you can just like go to save, and then what I'm gonna do is go to desktop, create a new folder, and then this is for the CSWA exam parts, and then I'm gonna do part 1, save it. All right, this is good. So once this is saved, and then you can close it actually, and then you can just create a new file. And then what we're gonna do is just like I'm always a big fan of actually just starting something easy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually just like go to the top plane one more time, and then of course actually make sure to check the IPS if your default is just not IPS. And then what I'm gonna do is just do the same thing, and then the dimension should be 2 inch for this case as well. And then I'm gonna go to feature, extrude, and then the dimension for the the blue beam should be a little bit shorter, so you can just apply 4 inch. Yeah, you can, no, actually instead of actually 4 inch, you can just apply 2 inch, 5 inch. Okay, this one is good. And then what I'm gonna name is part 2 is good. And then what we're gonna do next is the last part, which is the kind of yellow linkage part. And then what we're gonna do basically is Yeah, this is a little bit actually just a little bit more complex shape than the those cylindrical beams, so you can just follow along actually properly. So what we're gonna do is you can just hit top plane basically, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a the center rectangle, and then I'm gonna do like 2 point for the dimension wise. We can just apply it'll be 5 inch, and then we can apply 20 inch. So actually I should apply 20, but it was input 2. Okay, I think 20 inch is a little bit bigger than I thought, so 17.5. Alright, so actually let's just correct to 15. So 5 inch by 15 inch, okay? This is good. And then I'm gonna go to feature, extrude, and then I'm gonna apply mid plane. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit 5 inch. Alright, this one seems good. So 5 inch height, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually just extrude cut for some portion of it, and then you can just hit this front face, or yeah, whichever the plane is fine. Actually, you can also apply front plane, so we're gonna do the front plane first. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna cut some kind of portion from the center point. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a corner rectangle, and I'm just gonna draw until the center point. So select this line and then grab the origin and then make coincident. You remember actually this line and also the point could be also make a relation. Not only the 2 points or just 2 lines, so you can utilize by actually just like assigning a relation for those lines that is just basically in the vertical kind of relation, because we assigned the coincident relation. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna apply the dimension for this one to the center point. Okay, or the other way, you can just apply just this line, and then you can just apply 1.5 inch. Alright, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the feature, extrude cut, and then one of the feature we run from the drop down menu is there's a one way is you can just extrude cut and then go to the direction 2 and then just extrude cut the other way. But what I recommend you is through all both. Then it's gonna be just like extrude cut all the way through both sides. Okay, I'm gonna hit apply. This one seems good, but we still have to apply on the bottom side as well. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna find out the meter kind of area. So I'm gonna apply those extrude cut instead of actually doing the same step. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit. So originally how we normally do is just like go to the meter, select the plane, which is the top plane, and go to the feature, and then go hit the extrude cut, hit OK. I know this one is actually working fine, but this is just one tip that could actually just like kind of speed up your process, which is grab the the extrude cut feature and then grab the plane, or the other way around is fine. Grab the plane, grab the extrude cut after pressing Control, so you can just grab 2 different kind of feature. Because if you press shift button, so what that's gonna happen once you press shift and then grab top and then go to cut extrude, everything's between those features gonna be selected. So that's why grab the top, Control, cut extrude, okay? And then go to the meter. That's gonna be automatically assigned, because those plane only could be just only for face and plane, not the feature. Feature is gonna be automatically allocated into the right spot. Okay, hit OK. All right, so then what we're gonna do is we're gonna create another extrude cut feature at the top plane. So I'm gonna actually hit this top plane, and it's gonna be auto rotated, right? So I'm gonna hit space to just go to the something easier to look, and then I'm gonna hit the corner rectangle one more time, and then just create a rectangle anywhere, and then this line is just like in the collinear to this line. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go to Smart Dimension, apply those dimension by 4 inch, okay? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna apply those dimension by 1.5, and then we're gonna apply the 1.5 on the bottom side. All right, and then we're gonna just double check this thickness of this. So this is a 2-inch. So I think we have to double check. Okay, 2 inches is just fine. So let's go to the feature, go to the extrude cut, and then this is true all. This is gonna be working fine, okay? Hit okay. And then that seems pretty much similar. So what we're gonna do next step is we're gonna actually just like do some extrude cut for the hole, okay? So let's just like grab this top face, create a hole, any point at the center from the origin, and then we're gonna apply the 2-inch and then make a relation this point, this origin to the horizontal relation, so it's not actually moving up and down, but only could be actually moving side to side. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna apply this dimension point to here by I think it'll be 2.5 inch. Right, and then we're gonna go to the feature extrude cut, and then let's just try something else actually up to next. We've been using actually drill hole, but you know, sometimes it's just good to use actually different types of feature, okay? And then what we're gonna do next is we're gonna apply some one more in the extrude cut over here. So you're gonna grab the front face, sketch, go to the circle, you're gonna create another 2-inch hole, put the dimension from the center point to the right plane, hit 2 point, let's just hit 2-inch, okay? And then let's just make a horizontal relation one more time. It's fully defined, right? It's perfect. And then let's go to feature, extrude cut, and then through all for this time, just because actually if you apply only the up to next, that only gonna be applying till the first water, because this is the next part area. But up to next is just only going through one feature or just one, you know, kind of one word. So if you want to actually just drew all the way, then actually you have to use different feature, which is the through all feature. Okay, it seems good. And then the last step we're gonna do is we're gonna apply the fillet, and then we run about actually so many different types of fillet from the previous video. So if you're wondering how to do, you can just like refer to the previous video. So what we're gonna do is we can definitely use just standard fillet, but what I want you to use is just this full rounded fillet. And then what we're gonna do is just grab the first face, go to the second selection, grab this face, third face, okay? Hit OK. And then this is just one other tip actually, that if you press enter, what that's gonna do is it's gonna go back to the not the same feature, but it's gonna do one more time the feature that you actually just done, basically, because we just opened up the fillet feature. So if you press enter, that's gonna just like recap one more time what you're gonna do in the feature is gonna be the same as what you just done. So let me press enter, and again actually that's gonna create another actual feature for you. So what we're gonna do is hit this face, go to the second, this face, go to the third face, third selection, this face, okay? But we also want to apply all three, right? So what we can do is just go to the second feature and then grab the second face. Unfortunately, this is not working for those, kind of two different kind of faces. As you can see, it's just causing failure to create fillet. Check the input geometry and radius values. So it's just basically actually, even though we grab the right faces, but it's not going to actually working for two different kind of features. So what we can do is just we can delete first, and then press enter one more time, and then just click this one, and then right click. Can you see the right click button? That's going to move to the next feature selection. Grab the second face, right click one more time. If this is too late, or just like if the mark is just disappear, and then that's just like not letting you just like move to the next selection. So if that case, actually you have to go to the next selection, grab this, okay? That's perfect. It seems pretty much like the model we actually had a look at the beginning. So we're gonna save it basically as part 3, okay? So now it's time for us to diving into just like creating an assembly, okay? So let's just like save it one more time, and then let's just try click new, and then instead of part, it's the assembly. Yeah, just don't be surprised. This is gonna be exactly same. So, and also it's gonna be like kind of popping up, actually just prompting what kind of actually parts you want to input. But basically we want to actually just like input everything, but for now let's just like press kind of ESC or just like cancel it. We can actually just like insert those parts at any time we want. So if we just like come here, and then it's going to be asking you to browse it because there's no parts found, but hit close, cancel for now. And then as you can see, all those kind of feature tabs are a little bit different. Not a little bit different, pretty much different, like from the just part tab. So what we can do is just like have a look at actually what kind of just comments, and there's assembly mainly, and then there's a layout, and then there's a sketch, and then there's a markup, evaluate. Yeah, but for now we already create 3 different parts, so we're gonna have a look at those kind of assembly kind of features first. So if you go to the assembly, and then there's an insert components, okay, and then there is a insert component, new part, new assembly, copy with meet, insert from part supply. Yeah, we're gonna have a look at it actually just by kind of necessity, or just like kind of based on the importance for like CSWA, because actually like our purpose is just like running some basic. I mean, just getting a CSWA is definitely important, but like what I want you from this tutorial video is just like really kind of practicing it, because without any kind of like an objective or just like goal, it's pretty hard to just pushing yourself to just like keep designing something new. So I just want you to just like keep focusing on like CSWA for now, and then once you achieve like kind of getting that exam, and then I just want you to get to more advanced features for CSWP, which is the next certification, which is going to be definitely more advanced. So let's just focus on only the CSWA features, and then step by step actually I'm going to go through more details, okay? And then if you go to the linear component, and then if you hover over on the down arrow, and then there's a linear circular pattern. It seems pretty much familiar if you had a look at the previous video for the feature and pattern video from the day 3. So if you're not familiar, you can just have a look at it one more time, and then you'll be able to see a lot of actually in comments. So, and then there's a smart fastener. What that's gonna do is just like automatically kind of find out the spot of the hole to assign some specific fastener based on your kind of logic. Or there's a move component, and then if you drop down, and then there's a rotate component, okay? And then there's a show hidden components, and this macro is just like my customized action macro that I assigned, so it might not be actually just like available on your window. And then kind of same as the the sketch, or just like the standard part, we have a geometry kind of creation, plane axis coordinate system, point mate reference, and then there's a new motion study, and then barometer, exploded view, and then all those other features are just like speed text sub-assembly and large assembly setting. Those are pretty much actually just not very commonly used features, but it's good to know. But I will definitely have a look at it together with you guys actually in the future videos, okay? Alright, so what we're gonna do first is, all the time actually the way you can just insert is, the easiest way is just by using the insert components. I'm just gonna click it, and then it's gonna automatically open up a browse window. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab everything straight, open, and then that's gonna be asking you to just like rotate somewhere, because if you just move around, the part's gonna be followed with your mouse. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit click, and then the next part is creating it. I'm gonna click one more time, I'm gonna hit one more time. Alright, so we have a 3 parts. But as you can see from the the component feature tree, there is a first part is by default is set as F. What F sounds like? F is just basically fixed state. So what that means is it's not going to be movable. So I actually click it, but this is not moving. Whereas the part 2 or 3, I'm gonna actually try to move it. This is actually movable, and then if you right click and then just like rotate, that's still rotatable. This one also same. However, this one is just not moving at all, or even actually not even rotating at all. So the way actually we can do is, I don't want you to just like fix this part. Okay, the reason behind it is like for CSWA exam, normally the best rule of thumb is just like we had to find that the kind of origin point and then just like locate the parts into the specific origin point to get the proper just mesh property value. So what mesh property value, I will actually just let you know later. But for now, the way you can just unfix for the fixed parts is right click this part and then there's a float. Okay, I'm gonna hit float and then let's just try to right click one more time, and then can you see those fixed instead of float? Because right now actually it's just like kind of movable or basically undefined, something like this. So right now it shows the minus because I just clicked float, so that could be movable. Okay, this is the one thing actually I want to actually have a look at it. So I'm just gonna actually just locate this part kind of mating to the origin point. So what's origin point? So origin point is if you click front plane and then press Control and then press top, right? And then can you see those three planes kind of intersecting point? Is gonna be the origin point. And the way you can show the origin point instead of actually showing those three planes is there's an I button on the top tab, and then go to the right, the down arrow, and then there's a the view coordinate system. If you click it, and then there's a view origin as well, so you can actually just show this view origins. And then what that's gonna do is it's gonna show you these kind of assembly kind of origin point and there's a part origin point. So this is the way actually you can just rotate, have a look at some kind of origin point. And also if you click this one and then this one and then this one, and then as you can see those intersecting point is just basically the origin point of this assembly. Alright, so what we're gonna do is let's just go to the mate first, and then it's gonna open up a lot of the different menus. I know it's pretty much overwhelming because there's even actually 4 different tabs, but yeah, I will definitely focus more on the basic for the CSWA exam, so don't be too much worried. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna select the top plane basically. So let's just expand this feature tree, and then this is the top plane of this the assembly point of the origin. And then the other actual area or just the other face that I want to actually just like kind of mating to is basically this one, this bottom face. And then you're gonna click this face, and then as you can see this is just kind of moving a little bit down to just like mate to this kind of top plane, and then I'm gonna hit OK. Alright, but for your case actually if you hit OK, this is kind of turning up and then go to the kind of this state. The reason behind it is there is a pin button at the menu over here. So it's supposed to be look like this for your case by default, but I just want you to pin it because sometimes actually you're not only mating only once, you have to mate several times. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna expand the feature tree by actually clicking those right pointing direction arrow, and then that's gonna directing down. And then you can just click the right plane, and then I'm gonna actually mate to the right plane of this assembly. So I'm gonna hit, and then as you can see this is just moving to the right. Okay, I'm gonna hit OK, and then the last part is basically I'm gonna hit the front plane to the front plane. Okay, you can also just like hit this kind of the kind of shortcut box actually just like mating tool, hit OK. Let's do the same thing. And then if you want to get out, you can just either click close or just like hit OK, but I'm just gonna hit close. So I'm just gonna actually just like collapse it, and as you can see there's no minus button because we just made it like stream mating, which is just like in 360 degrees this is fixed at all. So the way you can see the historical data of the mating is there's a mate kind of the feature tree, and then if you hit those kind of the right pointing arrow, there's a stream mate created. Alright, so for example if you want to actually delete one of the mate, for example this mate, you can just like click and delete it, and then that's gonna be movable. But we can press Ctrl Z to just like mate back, and then the next mate we want to do, oh sorry, actually I didn't press Ctrl Z one more time. Okay, so now actually it's just showing no minus mark, which is perfect. And then what we want to do is we want to make this hole to this beam first. Okay, so what we're gonna do is let's go to the mate one more time, and then we are gonna click this inside cylindrical face, this cylindrical face, and then as you can see there is a concentric mate is happening. So what's concentric? So it's gonna be only possible for like 2 concentric holes or just like circular, even though actually those sides are not exactly matching. As long as like those are circular shape, and then it's gonna just find out the mid spot and then just like make those 2 holes just concentric. Okay, you're gonna hit OK, and then you can also just move it around and then rotate it around. So as you can see, those are not fixed. That's actually, this is just like moving up and down and then rotate it around, right? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna mate this face to the top face. Okay, hit OK, and then as you can see there's only one direction is remain to kind of fix this. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna expand this and then go to the part 2 feature, and then I'm gonna go to the front plane. Oh sorry, actually this one's supposed to be the part 3 feature. So I'm gonna find out the plane on the the front plane, yeah, and then I'm gonna find out the part 1 plane, which is the beam, and then I'm gonna find out the front plane. Hit OK, hit OK, and then let's just like, if you right click anywhere empty space, and then you can just collapse everything basically, so you can just like only see the limited like kind of part. Especially when you have a lot of parts, and then there's a lot of actually just like feature tree or just component tree that has been expanded, and then it's so hard to see unless you just like going up and down by scrolling up and down. So that's just one shortcut way you can do. And then as you can see, those part 1 and part 3 are with a minus mark, which means those are just fully defined for those mating. And then as you can see, there is a 3 more mates created. All right. So the last part, which is this one, and then what we're gonna do is go to the mate one more time, and then as you already noticed, we're gonna hit this face, cylindrical face, and then hit this face. Okay, hit OK. However, for this time, this is gonna be definitely useful for CSWA, because as far as I remember, actually one of only advanced features just used for the CSWA mating, which is one of the advanced features. So if you go to the advanced tab, there's a mate. There's a width feature. So what width is, you're gonna select 2 face on each side for one part first, and then you're gonna grab the second feature, 2 faces. So let me show you. So from the first feature or just first part, I have to select 2 face. This one, and then it's going to be automatically going to the next selection. It's okay to, you can select the next face here, or I'm just gonna clear selection, and then you can, it's really fine actually, you can select the other way around. And then I'm gonna hit OK, and then hit OK one more time, and then it seems like this is not moving, but it's just rotating it, right? So if you want to actually just get rid of actually those minus mark, there's one simple way you can do it. You can just expand those mate, and then this is the feature of this concentric mate, and then go to edit feature, and then there is a rock rotation. So what rock rotation is, yeah, it sounds like exactly what it is. It's gonna be fixed basically, but not fixed, but this is just more of actually anti-rotating. So that could be also very useful. So as you can see, the rock rotation, the mating feature, it looks a little bit different from just normal concentric, right? Alright, so it seems actually everything is just fully made. So this is the perfect state of the mating. But just one last thing actually I want to actually talk about is how to copy. right? So the way you can copy is after pressing Control and then grab this one and then just drag and drop over here. And then as you can see, there's a one more parts tree has been created without any mating, no mates kind of relate to it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do like those face and this face kind of mate as a concentric, and then we're gonna apply another width mating to these two faces against these two faces. Okay, and I think it's time for me to just like give you another advanced tip. So I mean, you have to go to the mate in order to do it, but you don't really have to. So what that means is if you press this face and then press Control, grab this face and then unpress Control, that's gonna create the shortcut for the mating. So you don't even really have to just like open up the mate kind of feature. So I'm gonna hit concentric. See, that's gonna be automatically just a kind of mating instead of actually opening up the mating kind of tool, right? So you know this width mating also pretty much same. I'm gonna grab this face, Control, press Control, just don't unpress it. Grab this other side, grab this side, and then rotate it. Grab this side, and then unpress the Control. Can you see? Because like there is only one, you know, kind of mating feature is available. Once you grab like two different faces of like in one part, and then you grab the another two faces of another part, and then only width mating is just possible for you to just assign. So you're gonna click, yeah, width mating. Click OK, and then now it's just only rotating it. It's perfect. So yeah, it's a little bit actually just more kind of easier way to just mate, but if you have another actually just like kind of, you know, more mate you have to do a lot, then actually I recommend you going to mate. But only a couple of mate you have to do, then actually I normally do this kind of shortcut way. So it's gonna be really kind of beneficial for your kind of time saving. And this is gonna be the last part. So once we set up all those kind of things, and then we have to apply those angle versus this face versus this face. Okay, we want to apply just you know 30 degree, but right now actually we don't know exactly what's the kind of 30 degree. It might be around like this one, but we want to be accurate, right? So let's just go to the mate, and then if you scroll down a little bit, and then there's a kind of distance mate. If you hover over here, there you can see the distance is just kind of pop up, and then there's an angle pop up. So what we're gonna do first is just we're gonna click this face and this face, and then it's just automatically, you know, kind of assign the coincidence, but that's not the option we wanna apply. We wanna click it to activate it because it's just grayed out by default. What we wanna do is we wanna apply 30, but the problem is this 30 degree is going to be just based on like those certain angles. So what we can do is we can either apply 150 degree, that's also 30 degree, or the other way around is you can apply 30 degree, or just like there's another actually just like kind of buttons which is just kind of flipping upside down. You know, so there's a flip dimension, so there's a lot of way you can just like manipulate. But if you want to use the 30 degree and then just like uncheck the flip dimension and then just check for the other upside down, that's gonna also do the 30 degree angle. So I'm gonna hit apply and then just click OK one more time, and then as you can see this last part is fully defined one more time. Alright, so then no part's gonna be moving. Yeah, just make sure, let's just save it just in case actually SolidWorks could be crashed. And then once everything, so basically the origin is set, you mate properly, and then you even assign the angle, then it's time for us to just like, you know, providing the answer, which is the mesh property kind of value. So the way we can access the mesh property is go to the evaluate tab, there's a mesh properties, okay? And then once you open up the mesh properties, how it's gonna be look like is, okay, I'm gonna actually just make it a little smaller so we can see all those kind of menus. So it's gonna look like this. It seems a lot of actually in a number, But what CSWA basically asking is possibly there's a mess, or possibly not the volume actually. It's gonna be definitely asking you the central mass origin. So like what's the the central mass actual origin point is, which is gonna be x equal 10.06, and then y equal 5.5, and then z is just 0. So we have to input those three numbers for like designated like kind of blank space. That is the like definitely like 100% kind of showing up as our just like question. So keep that in mind. Go to mass property. But if you're not sure where the mass property, like you're a little bit nervous actually when you're taking exam, and then there's always a way you can search. So if you go to the search menu, there is a drop down one more time, and then go to the comments instead of actually files and modules. Go to the comments and then type. Okay, you only remember mass. Okay, type mass, and then you'll be able to find out actually there's a mass property. Oh yeah, this is what we are looking for. Click it, and then that's gonna be showing up. And this search kind of tool is just like really powerful, so it's gonna contain every single thing. So sometimes you want to know where the mate is, you can just type mate, M-A-T. See, it's gonna be showing up. And even other stuffs actually, like you want to actually just find out, oh, where is the insert components. You can type insert, there's insert components, right? That's gonna be activating for you. So that's the way you can just like kind of search, and then that's gonna be definitely beneficial if you can remember all those kind of features you run from the previous video. I mean, once you get familiar with each feature, and then you're gonna remember everything actually by not even actually searching it. But for now, let's just like try to rely on it until we get used to it. But I think this is pretty much good explanation for the CSWA assembly kind of mating. So just like to recap what we run one last time, because this is super important. Right? Those minus mark means underdefined. So it's better to remove those minus mark by fully mating it in three different kind of direction. And then if you expand the mate, all those mate features are already actually there just by the sequential order. And then the last thing is the mass properties is at evaluate tab, and then there's a mass properties. So that's the way you can just give the answer for any kind of CSWA or CSWP professional exam. And then I also done the CSWE, and then all the other actually just like extra kind of exam. And then those three things are key component. Like basically even the mass and central mass, those are the main things actually they're all the time asking. So like keep that in mind. Mass property is the answer sheet. You can think of like this way. All right. I hope you guys actually learned a lot from this video, and then if this video was helpful, please give me the kudos and just subscribe if this video is just helpful, and then just waiting for the future video, and then I will try to upload those videos as soon as possible so you can actually just keep continuing your running process basically. Okay, thanks so much for watching video, and I will see you in next video. Bye.